So here at our Jones Street, which is at Jones and Gerrard in the city of Toronto, development that we have right here, we've converted a single family home. You can see a lot of the existing brick that we've decided to keep. This was like a top-up project where we essentially kept the entire shell of the original single family home and we have added additional stories. I think our thinking was grandfathering in some of the existing wall assemblies so we could use spray foam versus having to use non-combustible, which has been huge costs and cumbersome at some of our other projects where we built ground up. Behind me here is the foundation that we've laid with exterior styrofoam siding for our garden suite back here, which is really cool. Because typically we built laneway suites, but this is a garden suite. So there's, so you see, no laneway back here. We're certainly working with much, tighter confines. So we have these. Over there. Yeah, we have like these little compact excavators and compact bulldozers in this case. This project fly, and again we are working with like very limited space between buildings. But when it's all said and done, the neighborhood is incredibly vibrant. The transit and the walk score here is incredible. And we do think that construction costs are going to be drastically reduced from some of our other ground up developments. So yeah, again, you can see the yellow brick. Where it stops is where the existing building stops. Then we've added some cinder blocks there for extra height. This is kind of what it looks like from the road. This is Jones Avenue in Toronto, so we are a couple hundred meters, maybe 200 or 300 meters away from the subway station at the top of the road there. And the Gerrard streetcar line is about 200 to 150, 200 meters that way. That's what it looks like from the front. So we have the angular plane there. I think we're going to do some pretty cool exterior materials for the cladding to give it some different look and some different aesthetic from just the stucco that we've used in some of our previous builds. But yeah, I think vibrancy of the neighborhood is going to bode well for rents. I think, sorry about the background noise there. I think the vibrancy of the neighborhood is going to bode well for rents. It's certainly transit oriented. The removal of the garage that used to be here, used to probably end right around here, and the parking that we used to have access to. Clearly transit orientation is super important for this development. This is funded, the construction cost is funded through CMHC's construction financing program through the MLI Select. So that's a really important aspect of this build. We've been able to access construction financing at incredibly favorable rates. It's interest only. It's on a draw structure, so you access the money as you need it, as kind of like construction milestones are hit. We do have to have a quantity surveyor on site, and we do have to have draw reports and kind of progression reports where we tell a third party what we've done. We need to show certain steps of our progress that we've accomplished to date, and then of course need to show proof of payment to our sub-trades. But it's somewhat cumbersome, but in my opinion it's well worth it because the rates are below 7% for this build right here, so it really saves us a lot on our soft costs are dramatically reduced on account of the fact that our interest expense is a lot lower, right? And on builds where you are kind of at the mercy of City of Toronto workers and people that are required, third-party people to come in and close out permits. Anyway, all to say, construction timelines can be longer So dealing with these nuances does create a lengthier timeline on your development. But let's just say that this takes 16 to 18 months to build from the first time a shovel's in the ground to when you get tenants in there. Having a lower interest clock ticking away or a lower cost on your money will prove to be advantageous, especially in a city where margins on these things are relatively slim by virtue of expensive land and expensive construction costs. You're going to want to do everything that you can to reduce timelines and construction costs, and accessing cheaper money is certainly one of those measures you can implement. Last couple talking points that I'll have on this is this building earned the full 100 points in the MLI Select program through the energy efficiency route. So if you've heard me talk in the past, you've most likely heard me talk about my background in energy efficiency. So what we focused on for this building was, of course, high efficiency heating and cooling systems, the removal of fossil fuels and the reduction of greenhouse gas, because we used air source heat pumps. But the big thing we did on this project versus our other projects is we tightened up the building envelope. Each of these units is self-contained with its own dedicated entrance, so it allowed us to tighten up the air changeover per hour, the building envelope, and you would be surprised what that does on like an energy modeling basis. So I've done a lot of energy modeling reports. I'm coming up on about 400. So, obviously for our own projects, but for other customers and clients. And I think that we have really buttoned up our ability to find cheaper energy conservation measures that ultimately lead to higher energy savings, lower capital costs for projects. They're easy to implement, and I can show you the blueprint of what we've done here and how we've saved ourselves some construction costs on this project versus some of our other projects. So that's it. This is kind of where we are with it right now. Most likely be back here in about 30 days once this laneway suite here has framing up and it's boxed in, hopefully before the snow kind of piles up on the ground here in Toronto. That's where we are right now on our Jones Street project. Very, very happy with how fast it's come along from the start of construction. That's it. Reach out to me if you have any questions on the MLI Select, or if I can help with your energy applications. We try to do them cheap, fast, and on time, and more importantly, accurately. So all the best.